I've developed an exact formula and strategy on how to grow any brand on Amazon. This is after working with over 500 brands and actively managing 200 brands on Amazon, over $600 million in revenue managed over the last 12 months. I own my own brands. I've been doing this for a very long time, and I wanted to put everything together on everything that you need to know on exactly how to grow your brand on Amazon. I'm going to cover a few things. First, it's going to be traffic and how more people can come into your listing, then click-through rate and improving people coming into your listing, then conversion rate, more people converting, then lifetime value, more of them buying again and again, then discounts, coupons, all these other things that we can implement, as well as some of the logistics stuff like cash flow, inventory management, manufacturing, etc. And one very unique thing that not a lot of people are talking about, and it is the number one thing that helps brands grow exponentially on Amazon. Let's jump right into my screen and I'll walk you through step by step. First of all, traffic. Let's talk about everything that you can do to bring more people to see your listings on Amazon. PPC. Start by creating the master keyword list on Data Dive and Jungle Scout. So what that means is you're going to go into Data Dive and build a master keyword list so you can have all of the keywords that you should be ranking for pretty high with sponsored and with organic. Next, you're going to benchmark your keyword coverage. You're going to understand, okay, so for all of these search terms, for all these keywords, where do I rank? Am I position, 10 organic and 20 sponsored, or 60 organic and 65 sponsored, or 1 organic and 3 sponsored? You need to understand that, because once you understand your keyword coverage and how high you are in the ranks, you can know which keywords to target. If you're obviously positioned 1 to 10, you're already pretty high. But if you're positioned 60 to 80, that's an opportunity. 20 to 30, it's kind of in between. And then also match type and ASIN presence. Just because you found a keyword, like for example, electrolyte powder, you need to be targeting it in broad, phrase, and exact. They all perform differently. Do not have only one type of targeting or like exact only and think that you're hitting the entire market. And then ASIN presence, same thing. Make sure that you're ranking for all the ASINs with product targeting. Next, use a sheet like Search Query Performance Report versus Search Term Report versus Cerebro to benchmark where you're ranking and identify, okay, these are the search terms that I'm ranking for. This is what I'm doing in terms of the ads, and this is my purchase rate. So if something has a very high purchase rate and you're not ranking really high and you're not spending a lot of money on ads, then that is an opportunity for you to spend more money on ads, show up higher in sponsored, get more impressions, which will most likely turn into more sales. Next, show unique profitable search terms not being targeted. So you have to target more search terms that you're not currently targeting so you can get more visibility and again, more traffic. Next, campaigns with high ROAS and low budgets. If your campaigns are performing well, increase the budgets. They should be able to spend more. And at a certain point, they're not going to be able to spend any more, but at least you've done your best in increasing those campaigns and getting as much visibility as possible. Next, show placements with a high ROAS, but the top of search impression share is less than 5%. If you go into the placement report and you see for a certain campaign, you're showing up in the top of the search, and when you do, your ROAS is really good, but you're only showing up 5% of the time or less, that means that you should increase the bid by placement so you can actually end up showing up higher in the top of search, which means you're going to convert better. Next, show multiple ad groups, which is lost in impressions. So if you have multiple ad groups, what that's going to do is it's going to allow Amazon to split the budget however it wants. It makes you lose control, which I don't like. I want to know that my campaign, the entire budget is going down to the ad group, down to the keywords that I selected. If I don't know how Amazon's splitting the budget, how can I optimize, right? Next, having too many keywords in a campaign. Again, this is another one where every single time I've seen a lot of keywords in a campaign, I go in, all of the bottom ones, they're not spending, right? They're not getting enough impressions or clicks or anything like that. And so what I like to do is pause all of them, especially the ones with no sales, and then launch them in their own campaign so they can get more budget and actually show up more, which is again going to get me more traffic, more visibility, more impressions. Next, keywords that are spending money with no sales. This is both keywords, search terms, and targets. This is what I call wasted ad spend. You're spending money on a keyword or a search term, it's not making money, get rid of it. Next, similar search terms or keywords with high ACOS and low sales. Again, you're spending a lot of money, you're spending $30 and it's making a $15 sale. You're spending $60, it's making a $30 sale. Why are you targeting those keywords? Especially if it made one sale. If your ACOS was 80, 90% and you're getting 30, 40 sales, don't touch that keyword. It's keywords performing. It's not super profitable, but it's probably driving organic sales too. But if it's an 80% ACOS and one sale, is that really necessary? It's probably wasting ad spend. Next, brand name coverage. Make sure that you're always protecting your brand name. Headline search ads, video ads, regular sponsored product ads. If someone searches for you by name or any misspelling of the name or any variation of your name, make sure that they can find you. A lot of people say, well, they're already looking for me. I'm like, yeah, but if they see your competitor who has way better reviews than you and a cheaper price, they might be swayed. Couple things I didn't mention here: sponsor brand and sponsor display. Sponsor display retargeting, I always like to run that. And when it comes to sponsor brand, I use it very selectively. I didn't mention it here because it is very tricky. What I I've seen is if I launch a sponsor brand video ad and I already have sponsor products, what happens is those same people end up seeing the ads, and it's the same person, clicks twice, I get charged twice, and it's one sale. And when I take down the video ads, what happens is I just reduce my ad spend, sales stay the same. So I like to use video ads and headline search ads only when I'm not able to rank and convert with organic and sponsor product, which is really a rare case. Next, adding in DSP. So to drive more traffic, you want to layer in DSP. DSP is phenomenal because what DSP does is it goes after audience targeting, not keyword targeting. I have access to audience, people who view the product, people who purchase the product, and then all of the data Amazon has on people, like if they bought a new home, if they're high spenders, or if they're in the health category, whatever. So I like to layer in DSP in a funnel. At the bottom of the funnel, it's people who purchased from me in the past but did not repurchase or purchase my competitors. Then retargeting, people who viewed but didn't purchase. Then cross-selling, people who purchased one product but didn't purchase another product. Then competitor targeting, people who viewed my competitor but did not purchase them and have never viewed me, right? So they're fresh audience. Then complementary targeting, so people who bought a complementary product but never viewed my product and never purchased any one of my competitors. Think about this, right? I have an electrolyte powder, and like everyone who's on keto needs a sugar-free electrolyte like mine. So I'll go after all the keto products. Anyone who purchased the keto product but did not purchase any electrolyte products and has not seen me in the last 90 days, let's start targeting them. And what that does is starts bringing me fresh audience, people who don't know about me, who have never seen me. And then once they see me, they're getting retargeted. And once they purchase, they're again getting retargeted after 90 days to repurchase again. Next, TikTok Shop. I'm not going to talk too much about TikTok Shop, but another amazing way to drive more traffic to your Amazon is to go on TikTok Shop and build a lot of brand awareness there. So it starts with number one, having a lot of videos on your page. Number two, giving away a ton of products, having them create a ton of content, spreading the market with your content. Then building a community of curated, really good content creators and having them consistently post about you, and then taking all of that content and putting it in a GMV Max campaign and spending a lot of money. A lot of people will see you. You will probably not convert that well. You might break even, but at the end of the day, what's going to happen is you're going to get all of that overflow into Amazon, and it's going to make you super profitable. All right, we've covered the main levers that you can pull to drive more traffic. So more and more people will see you. Now, how do you get more of those people to click on you? Number one, main image optimization. Make sure that your main image is better than everyone else's main image. As soon as I see you in the search results, I'm immediately drawn to you, and you have some selling points right there in the main image. Next, price. You want to have a very competitive price point. Pricing is very important. Amazon is a very price sensitive marketplace. Okay, how does my price line up versus all the competitors? Do I have a competitive price? Can I go up? Can I go down? It's always something worth testing. Sometimes dropping your price is going to improve click-through rate a little bit, but your profits are going to go down. Sometimes increasing price lowers click-through rate, but you make a lot more profit per unit, and it's worth it, right? So you have to test and you have to figure out what works best. Reviews and star ratings, self-explanatory. The number one thing that you should never stop doing on Amazon is getting more and more reviews until you die, until you sell the brand, until you die. Keep getting more reviews. Don't ask me how, right? Amazon makes it very difficult. It's against terms of service. I have other videos talking about that, but you have to keep getting more and more reviews. Never stop, and they're never going to come on their own. Next, discounts and coupons. Another thing worth testing. I've tested sometimes adding a discount, $1 or 1% or something, will increase click-through rate, will make more people click on my product after they've seen me. Again, something to consider to improve click-through rate. Deals, same thing, lightning deals, Prime Day deals, 7-day deals. 7-day deals crush it. Prime Day and lightning day deals are okay. So make sure that you're always running deals. Price slashing. So if you can increase your price for a while, hold it there, and then cut it down, you can get a price slash, and that attracts people's eyes. That makes people look at you and be like, oh, interesting. Let me click on that product, right? So these are all the little things that you could do to get more people to click on you. Title, it's mainly for SEO. If you have a good readable title, it's going to attract a lot of people. And then badges. Amazon's Choice Badge, Bestseller Badge, all of those do an amazing job of increasing click-through rate. The Bestseller Badge will 10x your sales. It's insane. So if you can get to be the lowest BSR in any subcategory on Amazon, your sales are going to explode. So now we got more people seeing us, more of them clicking on us. How do we get more of them to convert? Let's start by the biggest one, secondary images. This is where you have an opportunity to sell people on your product. So your images, they have to be very good infographics. They have to sell your product, show that you have the most superior solution on the market, show why you're better than everyone else. You have none of the negative stuff, all of the positive stuff. Videos, the more videos you can have on there, UGC, you don't have to go with the production, right? UGC is perfect, but if they can showcase your video, quick, snap, no audio, I can just very quickly tell this is a good product, this is going to be good for me, that's going to help a ton. Bullet points, very important for any features, important things to know in there, and for SEO. So both of them, things that you need to improve. Product information. Fill out as much of the back end as possible, because all of that is going to help Amazon recognize you're a good product and show you in more search results and improve your conversion rate, because it knows that you're complete in the back end. You know, a lot of people, they don't really feel the difference. It's very hard to tell, but I can tell you, after trying over 500 brands, every time we've completed a listing in the back end, we've seen a significant improvement. Another one, multi-count discounts. So buy 2, get 10% off, 3, 15% off, 4, 20% off. Yeah, again, it's another discount coupon that can help, number one, convert better, but number two, get you a higher average order value. So instead of someone buying one $30 product, they can buy 3. And, you know, instead of paying $90, they're paying, let's say, $79 or whatever. So you're giving them $11 off, but you're making way more profit for that same cost of ads that you were going to spend to make one sale. Next, a storefront link. Having a storefront link that leads to a good storefront can do a lot for your credibility, right? Whenever I see there's no storefront link, or when I click and the storefront looks like shit, it tells me, I don't know if I think like this brand is like that good. They can't even afford to do a good storefront. I'll show some examples here, but make sure they have a very well optimized storefront that will at least build credibility. Next, frequently bought together. Make sure that your products are frequently bought together. If you don't know how to do that, you can either buy your own products, or you can use a service like RankBell and have a lot of people buy your own products, and then over time the algorithm is going to detect that people are always buying these products together and make them frequently bought together. Next, virtual bundles. Let's get into virtual bundles. Virtual bundles is a great way to bundle multiple products. It can be 2 count of the same product, 3 count, or it could be, you know, different variations or different products, whatever it is. But one thing I like about virtual bundles is they push competitors' ads down. I think it does a little bit to kind of protect you from your competitors' ads. Not so much, but every little bit helps. Defensive coverage. Make sure that you are always defending your brand name, and if you have multiple products, your products are targeting your own product, so that when it says sponsor products related to this item, you're pushing out as many competitors as possible, and it's going to be you. Brand story. This is the best place for you to sell the mission, vision, values, you know, founder story, philanthropy, and build an emotional connection with your shopper, which will help conversion. And then premium A+ content, an amazing way to improve conversion rate. If you have really good, beautiful visual content, that is going to do wonders for you. If you're stuck with old A+ content, if you have a lot of text in your content, all of that is going to hurt conversions. Make sure that you first understand all of the unique selling points of your product, all of the things people look for in that kind of product, all the things people hate in those other products, like 1-star reviews. Do the research, right? We've done AI analysis for a lot of our clients, and we pull all of that stuff and then say, okay, let's build the premium A+, and let's make sure that with visuals and quick text, we're showcasing that we have the best product, it's better than everyone else, and it has none of the negatives and all of the positives. And then we get into UGC videos. This is where you can have creators put a bunch of videos talking about your product, whether it's unboxing, testimonial, review, whatever. All of those different things are going to help with the conversion. It really helps when people see other real people, like that are not really incentivized, posting about a product. And then finally, images in the reviews. Having really good images in the reviews builds a ton of social proof and credibility. If you have any friends or family, whatever, that can post images with the reviews, that's going to make a big difference. Next, cross-selling. So we talked about a few of these: frequently bought together, defensive coverage, and DSP. All of those things can help you cross-sell your different products and increase revenue. Next, repurchasing. So this is getting people to buy your product again and again and again if they've purchased it once. The biggest one here is activating subscribe and save, activating the largest % off with the subscribe and save, and then putting in subscribe and save discounts. So, 20% off your first subscribe and save will really push someone. I just launched WonderFat, by the way. And every week we're adding 40 to 50 new subscribers because I have this 20% off your first subscribe and save. Now, yes, a certain percentage of them cancel after the first subscription, but it's so small that net, my subscribers are growing and those people are just recurring and I never have to pay for them again. Moving into brand tailored promotions. Another way to promote your products and different products to existing customers, to cart abandoners. There's a lot of different, brand tailored promotions you can activate. Go take a look at all of them and make sure you're utilizing them to the best of your ability. We've talked about the DSP loyalty funnels. People who purchase a product in the last year but have not repurchased in the last 90 days, haven't purchased your competitors. They're in the market. They should be, replenishing that product. So hit them with some ads. And then email marketing. If you can get the contact of your customers, it is an amazing idea to do email and SMS marketing and re-engage with them and, maybe give them value, whatever, and stay top of mind because they'll come back and buy your product again. I'm actually working, I'll share with you something. I'm working on building an application for my brand, for WonderFat, where it's going to be super enticing. People are going to want to download the app, get the app, and then from there, we're going to have all their contact information. So we're going to be able to remarket and hit them to get them to buy again on Amazon. Is it going to be perfectly tracked? Probably not. Maybe if we give them discounts, coupons, whatever, but who cares, right? Imagine taking all that customer data, uploading it to a custom audience on Facebook, and retargeting them with ads. Just retargeting ads. It's very cheap, and it's going to keep you in front of your customers, and it's going to get them to buy your products. Next, talking about email marketing, how do we collect customer data? Number one, the Amazon Ships and Product Packaging program, which is where you build custom packaging. So instead of the old boring packaging of Amazon, the Prime, just the bubble mailer or the box, you can actually have your own custom packaging. It will actually save you money. So Amazon will reduce their FBA fees. You'll probably pay a little bit more to make the packaging and put your product in it, but net, it'll probably break even, and you'll have a way better customer experience, and Amazon lets you put any QR code that you want so you can start to collect customer data. So that's one way. Product inserts is another way, and the app is a third way. Now, here's the thing. With all of that being said, the most important thing is having a very, very, very enticing offer. Not a free gift, not a free meal plan. It has to be really enticing. So, lifetime warranties always work. Activate your lifetime warranty. Here's a good example. Backpack for Picnics. That was one of my friends that I was helping out building this app, and she built an app for backpacks for picnics. And that app basically, you sign up and you put your zip code, and it shows you all the amazing picnic areas around you with images and all this kind of stuff, with the location, with the map, and also gives you itineraries to build picnic, and says, okay, here's what you need here. It's a romantic picnic. You need to buy these things. You can go to Whole Foods, buy these things. It's going to be very nice. Things like that. That's actually what gets people to download and give you your customer information, not a stupid free gift. Now let's get into customer experience. Make sure that you're responding to buyer messages ASAP. That's going to help. When Amazon sees that you have a high NCX, which is a negative customer experience score, it will definitely hurt your sales performance. So make sure that you don't have that. Amazon Ships and Product Packaging, we already talked about it. And then reviewing negative reviews. This is super important. You should always be analyzing your negative reviews and understanding, why are people complaining about my product? What can I do to make it better? How can I make sure that I don't get any negative reviews anymore? A lot of people skip that, right? And they're like, oh, our competitors are posting negative. It's always the competitors, dude. No competitor cares about you. Stop. You're too full of yourself. No competitor is attacking you. This is genuinely people who are assholes on Amazon that said, I hate this product, and you're not happy about it. So understand what's wrong. My business partners were fully convinced that my beef tallow had 0 scent, but I smelt it and there was a scent, and I said, guys, I agree with these people. It's definitely not competitors. Next, global expansion. So you have a product that's selling on the Amazon.com marketplace in the US, expanding it to the UK and the EU and Mexico and Japan and UAE and all these different marketplaces. It's very easy because you can literally replicate the entire listing. And the beautiful part is it's so much easier to manage. The hardest part is compliance and getting and shipping, getting it into the country, and the taxes, right? Like basically accounting to make sure that you're paying sales tax and all this kind of stuff. If you handle that, the expansion is so easy, and it's way less competitive than Amazon US. So another easy way to add at least 50% to your top line, to your revenue, just by globally expanding. Next, inventory management. Inventory management is super important. You always want to have between 90 and 180 days of inventory on Amazon. Every time I've seen people dip under 60 days of inventory on Amazon, it's almost like being shadow banned, right? Amazon just slowly starts to make you sell less and less and less, and you have no idea why. Why am I selling less on Amazon? And the answer is Amazon is worried that you're going to give a bad customer experience because you're going to run out of stock. And if you run out of stock, you know what happens? It's the death penalty. So make 1000% sure that you always have good enough inventory, because also if any issue happens, you have a lot of runway. You have 90 days to figure the problem out, not 30. You know what I mean? Next, sourcing. A lot of people already have a manufacturer. So they're like, you know what? I'm chilling. Well, that's a very bad idea, because if anything happens to your manufacturer, you're screwed. Your manufacturer is your business partner, and your manufacturer is your supply line, right? If you don't have products, you're dead. You're done. Your brand is done. If you run out of stock on Amazon, you will get destroyed. So make sure that you're utilizing a sourcing agent to identify other manufacturers that could work as a backup. Get different product samples. Like, look at the different terms, look at the different abilities of different manufacturers. You also want to have regional diversification. Tariffs is a real thing, and Trump prove that. So if anything like this happens again, if a war breaks out in a different region or something, you need to understand, okay, if a war breaks out in, between Russia and let's say another country, that's going to affect China. So what happens? Maybe like trade stops, like the boats are not coming in and out. No one cares about you. So make sure that you have a manufacturer maybe in South America or somewhere else, Africa, something where you're like, okay, let's utilize this second manufacturer, because if a regional issue happens, you're protected. It also helps you do a lot of research and development, so you can, see if you can innovate the product and come up with better solutions than the one you already have. It also gives you strength in negotiations, right? When you have multiple manufacturers, if one manufacturer says anything, you're like, listen, cool, I have multiple offers here, and I can weigh my options, and it gives you strength versus you're like, oh, please, manufacturer, work with me. What's your MOQ? That type of stuff. All right, next, supplier terms. Make sure that you're constantly working to get better terms. What terms are is basically from the time you make an order to the time that you have to pay for that order, however many days it is, that is your terms. Now imagine this. Today I have to pay $10,000 for 2,000 units. So $5 a unit, $10,000. Great. Now it's going to take 4 weeks to make, 4 weeks to ship, to get to Amazon, 2 weeks for checking. So that's 10 weeks already. Another 8 weeks to sell. And so by the time I get my money back from Amazon, it's been like 18 weeks. Versus what if I said, I want net 45 days. So like, let's say net 6 weeks. I want net 6 weeks from after you ship it out to Amazon. So I say I want an order 4 weeks into production. It now gets shipped to Amazon for 4 weeks, and then it's checking into Amazon for another 2 weeks, 6 weeks. Now I have to pay, and within the next 4 to 8 weeks, it sells and I get my money back. It really shortens the amount that I can get my money back. Now, here's the key. If you can get it to negative, let's say I get next 60 terms after it ships out to Amazon. So it's in Amazon now after 6 weeks, and it sells and I get my money back, and now I have to pay for it. That is the ideal scenario, and you could do that by having better terms. You can also do that by having inventory funding, through Wayflyer or someone like that. Quality control. Make sure that you never skip this, okay? I sent my first 100 units to Amazon without quality control. 60 of them broke in the packaging. So many customer complaints. And then I sent 1,000 units later on, as I didn't learn my lesson, 1,000 units without quality control, and they all tasted like fish because my manufacturer switched up one of the ingredients on me, and it destroyed an entire batch, and I got so many negative reviews, and I had to fight tooth and nail to get more positive reviews to drown the negative reviews. It was a nightmare. Please never skimp on, quality control. Refer to the military spec 9000. It can tell you exactly how to do the quality control if you don't know how, or hire a company like Movly, a very good quality control company. Next, third-party logistics. Make sure that you have a really strong 3PL company that can help you ship products from your manufacturer to Amazon's warehouse and has warehousing abilities in case anything happens. So sometimes I know people will get the product, from China, and they're like, oh my God, it's mislabeled. And it's like, perfect. If you have a good 3PL, they can reroute it to the warehouse, relabel it, and then send it back to Amazon. No problem. Costs you a little bit more money. Tell the manufacturer, hey, you messed up. Give me a discount on the next one. And everyone lives happily ever after. Product market fit and differentiation. This is what I was talking about. This is the number one thing no one is doing, and is the number one thing that is going to 10x your revenue on Amazon. Basically, this is where you need to identify what the market is looking for and come up with a unique and improved solution that is better than everyone else and makes you superior. So I like to use a lot of AI. I like to do a lot of research. I like to watch a lot of TikToks and understand what is my market looking for? What are they complaining about? What do they not find? What are all the negative reviews of my competitors? And then I have AI give me a lot of ideas. And then eventually my product is always going from version 1 to V2 to V3, V4, V5, V6. It's always continuously improving to be superior. When you look at it, you're looking at the market, you're looking at everyone's product and price or whatever. You look at mine, you're like, I don't even care about the price in the reviews because this is a category of its own. It's so much different and better. It solves a problem no one else is even touching. Imagine if you had a mug and all the mugs, you put hot tea in it, you hold it with your hand, it's very hot. And I created a mug where 0 temperature change. So you put boiling water in there, you hold it, you cannot feel it. It's room temperature all the time. That, if there's nothing like that out there, obviously it exists. But if there's nothing like that out there and you're looking for a mug and mine is for hot tea and mine is the only one that does that, you're going to buy mine. Doesn't matter the price, doesn't matter the reviews. No one else is solving the problem like me. And so that's what I'm talking about. And then a little bit of brand protection and moat. Make sure you know, you're enrolled in brand registry, you have your trademarks, if you can get a design patent, if it makes sense, utility patent, you know, obviously very, very difficult to get, but it makes sense. If you have like copyright on words, on images, if you have copyright on your molds in your manufacturing, anything that you could do to prevent people from literally just ripping you off or seeing your product and making one and competing with you. Analytics visibility. Make sure you understand your numbers and you can see your profits, because people who don't look at their profits on an Amazon level, and I know 99% of brands don't, because when I put my real profit and Trivium Analytics in there, they're like, holy shit, we've never seen anything like this. So make sure that you're really monitoring your profits on a daily basis, week over week, but then not just by being like, oh yeah, I know my profits. It's more like I know what I'm changing and how it's affecting my profits, because as you change one thing at a time, you're going to be able to, you know, improve your profits. Next, cash flow. Make sure that you have enough cash flow to keep funding this business. If you are a growing business on Amazon, what's going to happen is you're going to sell, and then you're going to need to buy more inventory and like a larger quantity before you make the money, before you make the profits. Look into having a line of credit. Look into inventory funding with someone like Wayflyer, and look into someone like Spring Cash that can get you paid faster by Amazon. So instead of, you know, Amazon paying you every 2 weeks, you can get paid every single day. Will help you with your cash flow. So if you need to pay an invoice, you don't have, you know, wait, you could just immediately get the money and pay it. And that's it, folks. So if you implement all of these things, I guarantee you, you have to at least double your revenue on Amazon. And if you want me and my team to build you a custom 12-month growth blueprint exactly like this, to identify every single thing that you could do in your business so you could double your revenue on Amazon, we'll build you a custom one. You just have to reach out to us. It's something that we offer. And if you're looking for an audit, or if you're looking for help in any of those things, feel free to reach out. I'll see you guys in the next video.